You know that feeling, right? That constant hum of pressure. The deadlines, the pings from your phone, that never-ending to-do list. That's modern stress, and pretty much all of us are living with it. But have you ever stopped to think about what it's actually doing to your body? And maybe more importantly, is there a simple, powerful way to fight back? Well, let's break down the science of your body on stress.
This quote from the Mayo Clinic, it just hits the nail on the head. See, here's the thing. Our bodies are basically running on ancient survival software. They honestly can't tell the difference between a grizzly bear and a looming deadline. To your nervous system, a threat is a threat. And that means for a lot of us, the alarm is just always on.
So what does that constant state of alert actually look like on the inside? It all comes down to our built-in alarm system, a pretty brilliant piece of biological engineering that's been keeping us safe for thousands of years.
It all kicks off right here, in this tiny little region at the base of your brain called the hypothalamus. You can think of it as the body's command center. The second it senses a threat, and that could be anything from a barking dog to an angry email from your boss, it hits the big red panic button. And when that panic button gets pushed, it sets off a lightning-fast chain reaction. The hypothalamus fires off signals to your adrenal glands, basically telling them, go, 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 and they flood your system with a cocktail of hormones. This, right here, is the famous fight-or-flight response, kicking into high gear.
Now, the real star of this hormone show is a little thing called cortisol. Its whole job is to give you an immediate advantage in a crisis. It jacks up the sugar in your bloodstream for a quick energy boost and gets your brain ready to use that fuel super efficiently. It's basically your body's built-in supercharger, getting you ready to either face the danger head-on or get out of there fast.
Look, this fight-or-flight response is an incredible tool for short-term survival. But what happens when the threats of modern life just never seem to stop? What happens when that alarm system gets stuck in the on position? Well, that's when we start wandering into the danger zone of chronic stress.
And the sheer amount of damage it can do is just staggering. Seriously, we're not just talking about feeling a little frazzled. When that alarm is always ringing, it can lead to some really severe health issues. We're talking everything from heart disease to major impacts on your mental health, like anxiety, depression, and even trouble with memory and focus. This is the steep price our bodies pay for that never-ending alarm.
But here's where the story takes a turn for the better. We are not powerless here, not at all. We have access to one of the most effective, scientifically proven tools to fight back: physical activity. And it's not just a distraction from your worries, it actively, literally, rewires your body's entire response to stress.
So what does it take? Is there a magic number? Well, according to the physical activity guidelines for Americans, there kinda is, and that number is 150. That's 150 minutes a week, which is just 30 minutes, 5 days a week, of moderate activity. That's the real sweet spot for unlocking some major health benefits.
And you know, the guidelines are super flexible. If you're someone who prefers to go harder in your workouts, you can actually cut that time in half. Just aim for about 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous activity each week. The most important thing is finding the rhythm that works for you.
And you don't need any fancy gadgets to figure out how hard you're working. Just use the good old talk test. It's super simple. If you're at a moderate intensity, you should be able to chat, but you probably couldn't belt out your favorite song. If you're in that vigorous zone, you'll only be able to squeeze out a few words at a time. See? Easy.
And you want to know the best part? The payoff is immediate. I'm not kidding. You don't have to wait for weeks or months to feel a difference. Research shows that just a single session of exercise can deliver real benefits that very same day. We're talking reduced anxiety and a better night's sleep.
So we know that moving helps our hearts and our minds, but the science is starting to show an even deeper connection to a place you might not expect at all: your gut. And this is where the story gets really fascinating.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how deep do these benefits go? Are we only scratching the surface when we talk about things like blood pressure and mood? Turns out the answer is a big, resounding yes.
So to understand this, we've got to talk about your microbiota. Now, this isn't just about bacteria. It's the entire ecosystem of tiny microorganisms living inside your gut. Just try to picture it. It's like a bustling, microscopic city with trillions of residents, and they all have a job to do in keeping your body running smoothly.
What scientists are discovering now
is just how fundamental this internal world really is. A healthy gut is in many ways the cornerstone of our overall health. And here's the kicker. Physical activity can actually increase the variety of these microbes, creating a stronger, more resilient internal ecosystem that's way better at handling stress.
Okay, so the science is pretty clear. Moving our bodies is absolutely critical for managing stress and for our health, right down to our microbes. But the big question is, how do we actually make this a real, sustainable, and maybe even fun part of our lives?
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has this great campaign called Move Your Way, and it really says it all. The secret isn't finding the one perfect workout. It's about finding your way to move. Plain and simple, the best exercise is the one you actually enjoy doing.
And you know, we really need to expand our idea of what counts as exercise. It's not all about running marathons or lifting crazy heavy weights. It's dancing in your kitchen, playing with your kids at the park, or just taking a really brisk walk. If it gets your heart beating faster, it counts. It all counts.
And for anybody listening who's maybe not very active right now, this is probably the most important piece of advice from the official guidelines. Don't feel like you have to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Just start with what you can handle and then slowly, gradually build from there. It's all about progress, not perfection.
So we've covered the why, we've covered the how. Now, it all just comes down to the what. What's the very first step you can take today to start using movement to take back control of your health?
You know, sometimes a little bit of data can be a huge motivator. Simple tools, like a basic pedometer or a fitness tracker on your phone, can make your goals feel way more real. It's not about obsessing over numbers, it's just about seeing where you're starting from and being able to celebrate how far you've come.
So let's bring it all home. When you make the choice to move your body, you are doing so much more than just burning calories. You are actively calming your body's alarm system, you're strengthening your heart and your muscles, and you are literally nurturing the trillions of tiny allies inside your gut.
It's this powerful, amazing, interconnected system, and you're the one in the driver's seat. So really, there's only one question left to ask. What's your move?